One of the things your narrator notices, I mentioned this before, like, did I say, well, geez, sometimes they're doing it, I mean, the mission and stuff, they're doing a compassion test, but, like I say, actually, what I would say you're doing is you're trying to see if the person involved lives in objective reality, you know? But since we, like, want to come into objective reality, this thing with the cars, let me tell you what goes on in the parking lot and why it's funny, but also why, I mean, part of it may be a test to see, like, is the person ready to say that it doesn't really mean anything? It never did. My lawyer, indicates, like, she said her, I mean, can we tell you the truth? I really like her. But then again, she happens to be very attractive. She's an Irish Catholic, and she's very kind to me. So I would like her anyway. She's also a criminal defense attorney. I mean, she's, like, knows what she's doing. I don't trust anybody. She told me all of a sudden, that her brother died of a drug overdose. Well, I have a drug problem too. I told the doctors, I don't know if that's true. And then when she came back, this one said, see, you were worried for nothing. Well, not really. I still don't know if it's true. She was supposed to help me with something, she disappeared. Then when she came back, I said, well, are you okay? And she, it didn't look real, but, who am I to say her brother didn't die of a drug overdose? Well, then we had lunch together, and she said, my family, they're fundamentalist Christians, they were saying, like, we just shouldn't worry about what happened. Like, that I'm not going to go through, like, looking at every possibility of what happened, That, like, maybe there was something I don't know. I thought he'd have a drug overdose, and she said he'd had a problem with drugs for years. What do you mean something she doesn't know? Well, it's your family, they're fundamentalist Christians, and she's saying, like, they're saying, just don't worry about it. And she's sort of saying, like, well, I mean, what do you mean don't worry about it? I mean, I thought he died of a drug overdose. And she's indicating, like, that she's going to use all her, I don't know, intelligence and legal ability to discover what really happened. Does she think something other that someone, like, did that to him? Is that, like, my uncle being shot that probably didn't happen? Is that, like, the FBI calling me that probably didn't happen? I mean, I don't know what this is. But then I was out smoking a cigarette, and I saw a car drive away, and then some sort of, like, effeminate, like, California guy came with chalk. And he made chalk. He got out of a car, and he made 3 chalk marks in a triangle around where her car was. That has no objective meaning, but it's kind of like my uncle being shot, or the FBI. Someone's playing a game. But is the game to see if the person lives in objective reality? Because remember, they did the same thing at the Crystal Hotel. When they did the signals, like, oh, she just the triplets of Belleville kidnapped. I mean, it was also that they brought around an actor who, if I was a dumb person who was an anti-Semite, it gave the message, like, oh, all these Indian hotels are owned by, like, an old socialist Jew who has a big key ring that has all the keys. I mean, they're doing it. I would hope that they're doing it to see if the person's a paranoid idiot or if he lives in objective reality. Well, we do this thing with the cars. And I look, because it's interesting. 3 cars, 5 cars. Whoever's doing that owns a car. So they don't really live in objective reality. I mean, they, like, own an expensive car, and they're, like, driving them in and out of the Aqua Hotel. Remember, these hotels are owned by what's called a group. There's a really dope girl that was downstairs that made a jokey video about picking her up. She disappeared. Does she not work here anymore? They lost their job? I mean, this is a game hotel. That's okay. The hotel's a game. I mean, it is. Guy comes in with his wife. I mean, everything that happens here is a game. So the Indian Gaslight Hotel. Okay, why are there 4 cars? Well, we did the 4 thing back at Trinity Towers, and I looked it up, and it was like the unlucky number, and the sound engineers like, Mr. Superstitious. And I went in, and a girl got off on 4, and no one gets on 4, so I said, oh, I should look up 4, that's the unlucky number in Chinese numerology. Okay. I mean, it's fun, you're playing a game, but I mean, what's the point? Now there's 4 cars outside again. Bad luck, Stephen. I mean, I would hope that you're going through this effort to find out if the people doing the activity live in objective reality to the point where they say, like, that doesn't really mean anything. I would hope that's the point. It's certainly not threatening. People with own SUVs and have feminine guys with chalk. I mean, it wouldn't be. That's not threatening. I live in objective reality. But I mean, is that the point? Maybe it is. I don't really give a fuck. But I mean, I'm also not angry. It's just a matter of, like, you must be I'm hoping what you're attempting to follow the leader, and it's like a hot girl. I mean, I'm trying to find. I guess it's either supposed to be psychologically helpful, or it's not, or it's. Are you trying to see if the person gives a shit or lives in objective? I'm trying to see if people are trying to be helpful. or if they're just playing a non-stop game that has to do with just playing a game, because that'd be fun too.